This Gizoon kitchen table features a modern space-saving design and has an easy-to-wash waterproof table. In this video, I'm going to show you how to put it together and then test it out and give you my honest opinion, so stick around to the end for that. And so for this project today, we're actually putting together 4 pieces of furniture: a table, 2 chairs, and a bench. So let's get started with the table. The first thing we'll need is one of our number 2 legs. This is the side rail for the table. We're also going to open up the hardware and grab one of the hex keys, one of the bolts from section B, and one of the brackets from section F. We'll put the bolt through the bracket, and then on our side rail here on number 2, we're going to find this little hole in the middle here. We can start that screw by hand, tighten it up with the hex key, and make sure that this little platform is facing upwards and the bolt is underneath it once we tighten it up. So it should look roughly like that when we're all done with it, and we're going to do that for the other number 2 leg as well. Next, we need 2 of these number 4 rails here for the table. We need the larger of the 2 storage racks. This is number 3. We need one of those number 2s we just put together, and we need 2 bolts from section B, 2 bolts from section D, and 2 bolts from section E. First, we'll lay number 2 on its side with that bracket we just bolted on facing inwards. Then we'll lay down one of our number 4s with this bracket flush against the ground. So it should look something like that. Now we take one of our E bolts and drive it through the outside of one of our number 2 legs on the edge until it comes through like that. And now we can take that bolt and screw it into number 4. Now you can set it so the legs are standing up like this, and we can grab our other number 4 and do the other thing on the same side over here. That's taking your E bolt, putting it through the number 2 leg, and then screwing it into the number 4 at first by hand, and then with the hex key. Once those brackets are connected down there, then we can take one of our smaller B bolts and we can make sure that they stay tight by screwing them into this upper open hole right here. And we should do that for both of the legs. Now we'll come up to this bar right here and find a hole here and a hole here. We'll take our 2 D screws and put them through those holes in preparation to attach our storage racket with the bolts going into here and here respectively. So I think we can get both of these started by hand. There's 1 and number 2. Now we can tighten them up, but not too tight, because we can do that at the end once we have all 4 of them in place connecting the entire thing. Now we should have a frame that looks roughly like that so far. And we're going to grab 2 more bolts from section B, 2 more from section D, and 2 more from section E, so we can attach our second number 2 leg to the thing we've already made. With our little bracket here facing inward, we're going to use our E-bolts to go through number 2 and into number 4 to start by hand by screwing them together. And let's do that to both sides. Then we can use our D-bolts here to attach this floating cross beam to our storage rack. We can screw both of those in. Then we can use our B-bolts to go and secure our corner brackets here, numbers 4 and 2 together. And now once we've got these all tightened up, we can go around and tighten up all the bolts we've put in so far. And just make them tight, but not too tight. Now we're going to lay our tabletop down flat, and we're going to make sure that these metal holes here are facing upwards so we can screw into it. We'll take the frame we made and lie it down on top of that, and then we'll take 4 of the bolts from section C and install them right here, right here, right here, and right here. As always, we can start these by hand, tighten them up a little bit with the hex key, and then once all 4 are done, that's when we'll really tighten them down. Okay, the table's assembled. Let's move on to how to build the bench. So of course we need the bench board, 2 of the number 6s, the bench side frames, 2 of the number 7s, the bench connecting bars, 2 of the number 8s, the bench side bars, and the number 9, the smaller of the 2 storage racks. So first grab a number 6 and a number 8. Along with 2 bolts from section D. We're going to take one of those bolts and number 6 right here, and we're going to drop those bolts into the leg like so, so it's pointing inwards to the middle of number 6. We're going to make it so number 8 attaches to both of the legs here on number 6. And now we will screw number 6 into number 8 like that. And we'll do that on both sides. Now we should have something looking like that. Let's repeat that process again with the same bolts and the same components. The one key here, that when you're finished, you should have these holes right here lining up with these holes right here. So now we'll take a number 6 here and lie it flat down, along with a number 7 here that will lie down like this. And then we'll take one of our D bolts and we'll put it through here. So this goes through number 6 and into number 7, and we can start that by hand. Now we can tighten it a little bit, but not all the way yet. Make sure we're leaving these holes available out here as we're doing this, and we're going to do this again on the other side, number 7 with number 6, just like we've done over here. Also making sure that the outside of the bracket is on this side. Now we'll take another D bolt and we'll put it through this floating crossbeam, one right here and another one right here, so we can connect our storage gate to that. And when you're connecting the storage rack, make sure that you have these cross beams on top of these cross beams, as you can see here, That way you just have a flatter surface on this side. And we can just start by screwing this in by hand. And now we're going to repeat this whole process on the other side. Now I'm going to take 4 of the B bolts and I'm going to tighten up the brackets right here, and the same on the other side. Because as you can see, if you don't, then they'll just wobble around like this. So again, we can just start these by hand. You shouldn't have too much trouble just starting these by hand. Once we have all 4 in, then we'll go around and tighten up all the bolts we've put in so far. Now we'll take our bench board and lie it down flat. Make sure that the metal holes are exposed for the screws to go into. And we'll set our bench frame down onto it. Then we'll take 4 of our D bolts and insert them here, right here, and over here. And we can start all 4 of those by hand. And once they're all in, we can tighten them all up with the hex key. Okay, we have our bench and our table made so far. Let's move on to the chairs and how to assemble them. So to start building the chairs, we're going to need a number 12 and a number 13 piece. It's like the frame of the chair. We're also going to need the number 14 piece that's going to hold the seat. And we're going to need 4 of our bolts from section D. So you can take number 12 or 13 in here, but we're going to find the holes here and here. And we're going to put our D-bolts through those holes facing inwards. We know it's facing inwards if our bracket's on this side and the bolt will be facing in that direction. Then we'll take our number 14 right here and screw it into that bolt sticking out of number 12 or number 13, whichever one you're working on first. Now we'll take another one of those bolts and we'll do the same thing up top here. And now we'll tighten that second bolt up into this piece right here. We're just doing that by hand so far, and we should have something put together like this. Now we'll take the other complementary component to our chair, making sure that this bracket is facing inwards so it's in line with these bolts that are going to go right here and another one right here. And we'll screw those into the other side of number 14, and we'll just do that by hand right now. And then we'll get the last one up here. Also for now, just doing those by hand. So now we have a loose frame for a chair. Now we're going to take a number 11 panel and we're going to use these bolts right here to connect it to the chair as the seat. And for that, we need 4 of our section C bolts. So the bolts will go up through the seat like this and into the ports on the bottom. First, just doing them by hand and then tightening them up with the hex key. Now we'll take a number 10 board, and these have curvature to them. Make sure the curve goes to the back so your back can rest against this side. And we'll just push the bolts up through here in the back of the chair and into these wooden ports on the back of the backrest. And again, we can just start those by hand before tightening them up with the hex key. Now when you got it all put together, I love how you can push the bench all the way underneath, and then you still have room for both of the chairs to fit in. So it's great for a compact space like I have in my kitchen. So at the end of the day, it did take me quite a while to put it together, but well worth it because I'm on a chair right now, super sturdy. Putting lots of the weight on the table also makes it feel sturdy, and the bench is the same way. So overall, I like the design. I like how it feels really high quality. I like how it looks, and I love that it's such a big table, but it's gonna fit in a compact space like I have here.